So we've done a review. It's giving you a 95% success rate, which is actually very, very, very high.
I create skills for myself to kind of like encode this into different sub-agent workflows so we can split out, do all different steps of the SDLC, pull it back, clean it up, tie it in a bow. Trying to encode the patterns that I did as a developer.
Hey there, Simon Maple here at the Skills Clinic, which we're running at the Tessl booth in AI Engineer in San Francisco. And joining me is Anders Swanson. Anders, you are a developer advocate in Oracle, a little startup that was born
small,
just here, right?
Small startup.
Yeah. I've been to the Oracle headquarters, right, where there's the big database buildings. Beautiful campus, actually, really lovely, just around the corner from here.
Awesome.
So you're a developer advocate. What area of Oracle are you a developer advocate?
So I cover all things database, which is quite a large area. I'm particularly focused on making the database attractive, easy to use, approachable to developers who might not have heard of Oracle, never used Oracle, just a little neutral in that area, and help them understand all of the amazing capabilities that a multi-model modern database can do. Yeah. So things from vector to relational to graph, spatial, JSON documents, all in one place.
Amazing. We're going to have a look at some of the skills that you've created.
Let's do. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen.
So they're on GitHub, I think you mentioned, right?
Yep. So /Oracle/skills.
Okay. And we have, so in here, in fact, what I'm going to do is, why don't I quickly fork this over to so we'll put that as Oracle Skills. We'll create that fork.
Awesome.
And then I'm going to clone this, and we'll have a look at some of the skills that exist.
Okay.
Now there's quite a few skills here, right?
Yes. So this is ranging different products. So we have different directories organized by products, and then subdirectories within those. Like in the database directory, there's different skill directories that cover different components of the database.
Right. Now there's a ton here, right? Which ones?
Yes.
Which skills would you suggest we take a look?
Let's drop into the database directory.
Okay. So it's in
CDDB.
Yeah.
And then let's take a look. So this is one overarching database skill that covers all kind of different things you can do with the database. I wouldn't say it's all-encompassing, but it has a lot of information there. Gotcha. So I think this is a good one to analyze.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Tessl agent from this directory, and Tessl agent is essentially an agent that is. Its life goal is to improve context and to understand what you're doing and how we can make agents better with the context. So here I might say take a look in this directory and see how many skills you can find. Let's see what it can find across here. So each of these directories are separate skills. Did you say?
Separate information for the database skill.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So there's one skill MD in that case.
Yeah.
Let's do a review of this skill. Now, as we do this is essentially, it's kicking off its own agentic review, essentially comparing this to Anthropic's best practices.
Okay.
You can override that if you have
organization specific.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So while this is running, tell us a little bit about what the skill is.
So the skill, if you're doing database development, working on the database from really any perspective, the skill is to help you write better SQL, write better database code, so your agents are knowledgeable about what the database can do. So it's not only to help your agents, but help you discover what the database is capable of, because when you ask, maybe you want to do something with graphs, and then it's going to create a property graph over your schema using the database skills. Yeah. So it can help discover, it can help you write, and improve your database applications.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And who would be the user of this kind of skill? Is that maybe like another developer? Or
could be another developer, it could be a DBA. There are some operational level skills, like how do you start the database in a container? How do you deploy different components? connect to things. So some operational DevOps related stuff, some development stuff. Basically, any user of the database, I think this can be applicable to. It's going to help them use it better.
Nice.
Yeah, and I would also suggest to use this in conjunction with a database MCP server, especially if you're doing local development, because then the skills can talk to the database directly using that tool calling mechanism.
And what would you say are some of the things that, because obviously skills are great when you want to almost like supplement an agent's knowledge, right? So what is it, would you say, that an agent isn't as great at?
Yeah.
I think when doing those database interactions, that a skill is actually super needed to supplement that.
Yes,
that learning.
Very like niche syntax. I spoke about property graphs before, but if you are working with something like that, you may want the skill to encapsulate the exact SQL syntax rather than having the agent go look up documentation, go look up blog posts. I want it to be right there in the local file. It can pull that, add it to its context window, and bam, it can go out and create a property graph over my relational schema without having to do as much work. And it's going to do it right because the skill has been refined, it's been tested, and it works.
Yeah.
So less chance of hallucination there.
Yeah. Super interesting. Yeah, because I guess like one of the key things, because we know about a number of software security vulnerabilities as well when building SQL queries, particularly from code and things like that with skill injections and things like that.
Yeah.
Is there information in the skill here as well that will avoid those types of problems?
We want to encode best practices as well.
Yeah.
So not just the how, but how to do it well in a way that is scalable, is secure, and applies our known best practices.
Do you use examples in the skill as well? Perhaps we should open up the skill actually now.
Let's pull some up.
Let's I'm not sure if I've got VS Code. Okay,
so if you pull up, for example, the database containers one, it should have Docker commands or links.
Where did I put this? In here? No.
Oracle.
I was up in Oracle, didn't I? Yep. There's Oracle.
Database.
Let's leave it there. So in the SQLMD, so obviously references a whole bunch of
lays it out.
Yeah.
If you say open up containers, for example, and then there's the whole set of how containers, like a database container, works here.
Yeah.
It tells you all about it. Like click on ADB free. So it'll tell you this is where the image is. There's the repository path.
Yep.
Here's the pull command. Additional information about it.
Yeah.
And then there's a run pattern down there as well. So if you wanted to set up a free container, this could help you with that.
Yeah, awesome. I like the way you're kind of like very much, having small contained pieces of context as well. That's linked from a skill MD.
Yeah, it's a tree hierarchy. So the agent can start at one place and then move down depending on what task it's trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we have, let's take a quick look. We have, oh wow, so it's a really strong result. So we've done a review. It's giving you a 95% success rate, which is actually very, very high. Validation's all passed, so this is essentially more like your linting and making sure everything's good.
The markdown and such is correct.
So I looked at your description actually. Now I thought your description's actually pretty good, right? The description. Ultimately, there's two things in the metadata of the skill MD,
right?
Which is super important that the agent will use early doors, which is the name and the description. And it's the description that really unlocks the activation.
Yeah.
So as I type something, the agent will say, "Oh yeah, I've got something like that I know I know can help me with." So your description's really strong and it really helps with the triggering. Content looks great, conciseness is good, workflow clarity, these types of things. So recommended small improvement, add verification for slow query diagnosis and those types of things, but more verification steps with some examples and things like that. One thing that we could do is we could just say run Tessl review fix. And what this actually does is
changes.
applies those changes. So this is actually, it's going to run again like a more agentic style approach, and it will then redo that review, add the changes, and then rerun the rerun.
Oh, awesome.
So maybe we'll let that run and see how that goes.
See what it can do.
See how that goes. Yeah. So how long did it take? Like, obviously, there's a lot of context here.
Yeah.
How long did this take to actually grow over time?
So this is the culmination of a lot of different subject matter experts at Oracle. So developers, product managers, very technical, smart people who are extremely knowledgeable in their specific domain.
Yeah.
And why that's important is it's a lot of people in very different areas, which probably no one person has all of this information. And their efforts of contributing this, making it available, puts it in one place so your agent can be that one person. And this is also information that has been accumulated over probably cumulative hundreds of years of database experience.
Yeah.
So, that's how.
Have there been other folks outside in the community who have contributed to it, or is it mostly
check on the GitHub? I think there's been a decent amount of contributions. As we look at to pull in developers, we like to make sure people are aware of this when they're doing agentic work with Oracle.
Yeah. I mean,
it's relatively new within the last few months. We had a decent amount of activity.
Nice.
Yeah, always looking for if you use Oracle and you have workflows, or if you're interested in using Oracle, I think it's a great place to start.
It's great to see this interaction, not just to show that it's continually improving, but also to show that people are using it and people are finding value out of it as well, right?
Yeah.
So let's jump over to. Jump back here. Okay, so we're still running. And one of the interesting things here is you can see we have a max iteration. So what it'll do is it'll make sure it doesn't just run
loop
once.
A couple more times.
It'll loop a couple of times before actually providing those results. That's good.
Is this going to take in the information that it used previously?
It can do. Sometimes it'll actually run it because it runs multiple times. It'll take those different sets of information. We have a workspace. In this case, it's actually running this against the Rohan workspace. So what this is doing is it's also storing that data historically as well.
Okay.
So we can kind of
in that workspace.
We can also pull all of that as well. Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see what it can come up with.
Yeah. So how do you use skills internally at Oracle?
So I've been a software engineer my whole career, somehow got into DevRel, but I still do a lot of hands-on coding, and the software development lifecycle is very important to me.
Yeah.
So making sure when we do software development, we're following the right processes, we're not, adding undue complexity, everything's all dried up, it's simple, and it's really beautiful code. So I create skills for myself to kind of encode this into different sub-agent workflows so we can split out, do all different steps of the SDLC, pull it back, clean it up, tie it in a bow, and make sure these are trying to encode the patterns that I did as a developer.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So it's finished. It actually made some changes, and those changes actually did put it up to 100%.
So
the
wonderful.
threshold was reached, and it was applied. So these changes have been made into the skill MD. In fact, what we'll do is if we jump here and take a look at the skill MD, let's see if that's in the container. That is.
We could drop it in a pull request to see what what it looks like.
So what it's done is it's added a task with a recommended sequence. So
for
each of these various things, it then tells you, okay, go to the explain plan, wait events, optimizer stats, AWR reports, and so forth. And it believes what'll be really interesting is actually to create some scenarios here and see if there is value with and without the skill on your original version.
Actually get some feedback out of that.
Awesome. I can send a pull request back.
That'd be great. Totally.
I really appreciate you joining us on the Skills Clinic.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.